What is going on, my esteemed witnesses? This is the Croc to bring you a gold, silver, crystal TGBDual Wi-Fi battle. Today is going to be up against Kirk Empoleon, my boy. If you guys haven't checked him out, you should do so. He does good PO lives and some random 5th generation, and he is a god at black 2, white 2, UU. So let's get into this battle. I do warn you there are a couple technical glitches, but you will see the awesome little Ace Attorney thing that I made for that. So here we go. So Kirk is going to be leading with Steelix. I'm going to be leading with Ampharos. Now I know he knows that Ampharos can pretty much not really deal with Steelix, but not really too afraid of it either. Now I'm looking through figuring out what I want to switch into. We both pull a double switch right off the bat. I'm going to pull to Goodman. He is going to pull to Umbreon. And I figure this is a perfect opportune time to get my spikes out there. Spikes are always going to be good. Wonderful entry hazards, good residual damage and such. And he's going to go straight off with the Charm. Now, I'm wondering if he's going to have a Raikou or Jolteon. So, I'm going to go for the Icy Wind, trying to lure either one out as he follows up with the Mean Look after charming me down. Now, he does not baton pass said Mean Look. He instead goes to Jolteon, which I did lure out, and trying to go for the Icy Wind, lowering its speed, making it easier to deal with, but no bones, no bars on that. Going through here, going to switch out into Gavin, who can pretty much deal with Jolteon as long as it's not going to be doing agility and substitute and baton pass shenanigans. I'm not really too concerned about this thing. He's going to pull out immediately after the substitute, go into Steelix. I predict that go for a Fire Punch, as it's got to step in on Spikes, and unfortunately for Kirk, I am going to get the burn immediately on that Steelix, rendering it pretty useless. I do see the Steelix in the team, so... And now he reveals a Suicune, which leads me to believe this is some kind of Roar variation team. I have not seen entry hazards yet, but he actually surprises me going for the Toxic on the Fortress, on the Cloyster, excuse me. And that's perfectly fine, just going to hit up with an Icy Wind again, trying to bait out the very, very prevalent and dangerous Jolteon, which I can't do so I'm going to have to switch out into Umbreon. As I switch out into Umbreon, Kirk is going to roar me out back into Goodman, and I'm trying to look at what I've seen from his team. He tries to predict me to go for Explosion, but again, no bones, no bars. Going to go straight for the Icy Wind as a decisive play and take down the Steelix. Well, that was a mouthful. Now, Kirk and his awesome self is trying to figure out exactly what he wants to follow up with as Steelix had to go down. He did tell me that he was predicting the Explosion, so he's going to make a switch into Jolteon. And really, Cloyster could be sacked at this point, but it is still pretty beneficial, so no reason to sack something I don't have to. Go straight out into Quagsire, and bar HP Grass, this Jolteon is not doing anything. So, he's going to switch to Umbreon, and I message him, great minds must think alike, because I'm going to go into Angel Star, but luckily, I don't have to take that wonderful Spikes damage, get up a switch into Goodman. And I figured a Toxic was coming, so I'm going to switch back into Goodman, who's already poisoned, who doesn't fear Toxic whatsoever. And again, just playing safe Icy Wind, trying to deal with whatever I can, and he goes for the Charm. So I make a really bad play here. I'm already charmed, and for no reason under the sun should I have done this. Because I was looking at it, I wonder if Kirk has a ghost. Does he have a ghost? He was like, nah, man, I ain't got no ghost. Oh, man. Oh, wait. Yes, I do. Luckily, he does have to step on Spikes, but I waste Goodman for absolutely no reason at all, and that was about the worst play, and unfortunately, yeah, it makes somewhat of a difference later on. Gavin's going to be my follow-up, and I'm kind of curious what this Gengar is packing. I don't know if it's a Hypnosis set, I don't know if he wants to just go straight out Special Attacker, or what have you. So, he switches into Umbreon, takes some Spikes damage, get the Cotton Spore. Kind of beneficial when dealing with it using Machamp. I was kind of aiming for the Gengar, and he just calling these plays so perfectly, going for Toxics on my switch-ins. And he outplays me again on this next play. I'm kind of thinking he's going to switch into Gar, so I'm going to go for an Earthquake, predicting the Cross Chop. But he just stays in, goes for the Charm, just doing what he does, and unfortunately Cross Chop is not going to happen, so after the Charm and the Toxic, I have got to switch out. I could technically go for the cross chop and try to bank on the critical hit, but I really don't feel like that's a good play at this point. And he just goes for the pursuit. Does a pretty good chunk considering I do resist it. And Executor will be the next witness I decide to bring in. So, again, he outplays me staying in. I go for the Psychic, predicting him to bring in Gar, predicting me to go for a different move like Solar Beam or HP or something, or Sleep Powder. So I'm just going to stay in and go for the Solar Beam. The reason this has Solar Beam, it actually is paired with my Typhlosion, who I've used this team for so long. But I'm kind of playing around with it. It's gotten a little bit bland and trying some new things. He's just going to continue going for the pursuit, so I'm led to believe he might not predict me to explode here. And that is just perfect for me. I get to take out a massive threat, and luckily for me, the Gengar did not show his self. So we've got a pretty good scoring game thus far between me and Kirk. I figure I would follow up here with my Quagsire, as Suicune's not going to come and step on spikes. I don't want to drum yet. It's definitely not safe, so I'm just going to go back out into Umbreon, and Coon once again coming through with that big Toxic, putting a time clock on my Umbreon. As he goes to the Surf here, I kind of want to just Baton Pass straight away back out into Clavier Gavin, who can probably, honestly, at max damage, I can probably two-shot this thing since his Steelix is gone. He can't really resist my Thunderbolt, which is kind of awesome. So he's just going to play safe Surf, and it does a pretty nice little bit of chunk of damage. And the first Thunderbolt, before Leftovers, takes him down to half. So, factoring Leftovers, and we did find out on this very next turn right here that is actually minimum damage. As you will see, this Thunderbolt is actually going to clean take this Suicune out, and down goes another threat. Now, Kirk has got to figure out some kind of game plan here. He does have this Jolteon that he's using now, and he's just going to sub with it. I figured double Fire Punch will break the sub, and if he wants to sub down, that's fine, because if he Baton Passes, he'll die to spikes upon switching if he gets low enough on the substitute, so that is perfectly fine with me. Thunderbolt, I'm taking it like it's nothing, taking it pretty well, and sub's going to fade here. Leftovers going to happen. I'm up to 170 after this turn, and Thunderbolt just not doing the trick for him. Another small technical glitch there, and the Fire Punch just isn't doing that much, but I know he'll sub. But he actually surprises me yet again, doesn't play the safe play on going for the sub, just continually Thunderbolting, wanting to take Clavier Gavin out. Now I'm just watching the damage roll on these Thunderbolts, and I'm looking at Leftovers recovery, and I probably can come back in later and get my Leftovers. I've still got this Quagsire that hard walls this Jolteon. I just didn't want to deal with it behind the substitute. It's too dangerous to wonder if it had HP Grass or Ice. I did forget to ask him after the battle if it did have either one, but luckily he stays in and I take it out with a safe Earthquake, allowing him a free switch into Gengar. Now, I told him right here, he did come in on Spike, so Giga Drain is the only thing I fear, and he does indeed have it, which is going to do a massive chunk to Desi Delight, which should be female. And Earthquake not going to quite take it out because the Spike's damage was pretty much negated by the Giga Drain. Had the Spike's residual damage on the switch stayed in, that Earthquake would have taken out this Gengar and I would no longer be dealing with it. So now I've got to come up with a switch, and I go out to Umbreon kind of stupidly. I kind of just wanted to see what he'd go for. I probably could have sacked Quagsire, but I really didn't want to do so at this point in the game, because even though the Toxic is going and the counter stacking every turn, I can continually recover using the Moonlight, so it's really not that big a deal to me. I can just get up to as much health as I need, and then I can just Baton Pass out or whatever I want to do, because this Gengar will attack first. So I decided to keep the pressure on this Gengar, putting it under a Mean Look. Even though I am Toxic, I've got maybe 1 or 2 more turns I can stay in, which is perfect for me, because now that the Mean Look is on this thing, I am going to Baton Pass into my Machamp here. Machamp, again, I don't know what his last Pokemon is, and I am a little bit nervous if it's Starmie or Executor. All of this work is for nothing, but luckily he does stay and play the safe Thunderbolt, doesn't do too much at all, and Earthquake is going to take Gengar down indefinitely. So down goes Gengar. So now it's time to reveal his last Pokemon, which is Heracross. And now you guys are going to see this Heracross set is so creative. So he's just going to go straight up for the Mega Horn. I'm going to go straight for the Fire Blast. I know it's going to do almost half. It's about a 3-shot. After leftovers, maybe a 4. And it's pretty much the only thing I can do to this Heracross. I know Megahorn is a 3-shot from that point, so I will be able to get my second Fire Blast off and bring it into a pretty good range of help. But the Toxic will take down my Heracross. Now here is a very key point that I miss out on. I had a very, very perfect opportunity here to go for a Cotton Spore while this thing decided to rest. The rest was so obvious. I don't know why I went to Umbreon. That was a bad switch on my part. It really wouldn't have mattered what I went into. I could have also gone into Quagsire and gotten a free rest off, but the Cotton Spore would have happened. I could have gotten a free rest off, and that would have helped a lot. So Rock Smash going to come off, and it does hit my Umbreon pretty decently. Even for a low base attack, it does still get the stab. And I'm just going to switch between my Pokemon. I'm trying to get as much leftovers recovery with Ampharos as I possibly can. Reason being is I feel Ampharos needs to get that Cotton Spore off. So he is going to miss this first Megahorn. I'm going to Baton Pass once again back into Ampharos, just recovering those leftovers very nicely. I need it at as much health as possible to take the Megahorn that's going to be incoming from this Heracross, knowing he will wake up on this turn and take me out. So I'm at 139, and looking at it, I probably could have sacked Quag, but unfortunately, Kirk is going to hit his Megahorn, so Desi Delight's resting here is my only opportunity, and I'm not going to get it. He is going to hit that final Megahorn and take me out. Thank you, Kirk. That was an awesome battle. That was off the wall from turn 1. I'm not sure if Cloyster dying really mattered too much, considering it was Rest Hawk Heracross, and Rock Smash and Megahorn would have worn down my Cloyster at some point. If you guys enjoy and like 2nd Gen, please click the subscribe button if you haven't done so already to see more of mine and my love's content. And as always, rate, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, peace out, up, and find the computer room, and peace!